introduce yourself and tell me who you are.
My name is Tom White, and I am a motorcyclist, motocross rider, and I have more motorcycles than even your magazine.
That you do.
I do.
How have motorcycles affected your life?
I can truly say that the motorcycles and the motorcycle people have given me more joy in my life than I could even begin to keep track of. I kid, but it's a little bit the truth that in the past I suffered with depression, but then every 2 weeks I go out and buy another vintage bike and I felt better for a while. And look where that's got me. Now I'm up to 176 motorcycles. And you know what? I just bought one Sunday. I did. So cool. I bought this. It's a Hodaka, looks like a Hodaka Super Rat, but it's a Yamaguchi 125 twin. And it's perfect. And anybody that would look at this thing, oh, Hodaka built that thing. Well, no, this crazy friend of mine built this thing, and Lee Fabry. But anyway, I love the motorcycles, and specifically, really like motocross bikes, and that I've been able to tell a little bit of a story about motocross with my museum, and yeah, it's called the Early Years of Motocross Museum.
Okay, you've had several stages of motorcycling. You're first a racer, then a business owner, then a collector, an announcer, racer again. What period of your motorcycling life brings the most fond memories?
Flat tracking.
Flat tracking.
Absolutely. I can say that at that particular time I had my glimpse, and if you remember back in well, you're too young, but the late '60s, really late '60s, even in the early '70s, flat track, half mile dirt track, it was really a much bigger sport here in America than motocross. Motocross was growing quickly. And the sport was huge back then. We sold about 4 to 5 times the number of motorcycles that we're selling right now. So it was a huge time, and I can say that I made it to where I was ranked as one of the top 20 in the nation. So I got to experience, being one of those guys. I mean, there wasn't all the perks back then, but I look back at that and I'm just very grateful for the time I had. Probably in hindsight, a little bit grateful that I got hurt and injured a couple times and took me out of that and got me into the motorcycling business. But I just absolutely love that part of my life, and have some of the motorcycles I used to race. Still own them.
Okay, so you mentioned injury led you to business. What was the first product White Brothers did, or how did you get started?
I worked for, if you remember, a guy named Bob Maynard. Bob Maynard was really the inspiration, the designer of Thor Apparel. And of course, Thor is one of the big apparel companies out there. But he owned a shop called Orange County Cycle. And we were right there in Garden Grove. And we sold every brand of motocross bike. So though I was a professional flat tracker and taking that route, I worked in the service department as a service manager. And we sold literally every brand, from the Bultaco, Husqvarna, CZ, Jawa, AJS, and Pentons, and on, Husqvarnas, I think I mentioned. But so we had all the motocross riders riding through our shop. So I had the opportunity to work on their bikes. I would port the cylinders and put the coolers on the shocks, when the shock travel went up. And that's kind of where I kind of got some of my inspiration that, maybe I should start my own business. And it really started with the Yamaha monoshock. The owner, Bob Maynard, had sent me to this Yamaha mechanic school, and I learned how to work on the shock. And we had like all of the best Yamaha support riders riding through our Orange County Cycle. So I started trying stuff with them, changing the valving, the damping features of the shock. But then I came out with a way to extend the travel. And back then in late 74, if you could extend the travel and make it work better, that was like selling popcorn at the movies. Really good.
Okay, so flash forward to just before you sold White Brothers. I mean, what did you grow it to?
Well, White Brothers started it started as Tom White Cycle Specialties, because my brother worked for Kawasaki and in tech services, which is like R&D. and he wasn't so sure it was going to be a going concern, but I felt that it was time at my professional racing career. I felt I could race and still have this business very similar to what I had working with Bob Maynard, Orange County Cycle. So I started there, and then promptly went out and broke my arm. So that kind of took me out of the game for a little bit. But again, Tom White Cycle Specialties, one employee, that was my dad. He was my gopher, go for this, go for that. But when I sold the company, we were nearly $40 million. We had a warehouse in Louisville, Kentucky, and we had a warehouse right here in Yorba Linda. We were actually in 5 different markets. We went to all the Norba bicycle races, so we had 7 models of mountain bike forks. We had a Harley products catalog, which accounted for almost $12 million of our business. We had a watercraft catalog, a sport and cruiser catalog, but mainly dirt and ATV. That was our backbone. And so, pretty proud of the company that we grew. And then, as you know, I had a tragedy in my life in the late 90s when my son Brad got hurt by a chain in a parking lot. And once, that happened, and I knew it was time that I needed to spend some time at home, start focus on the family, and I was ready to do something different.
So these knuckleheads have to come here now.
Yeah. Should we? Oh, are they on the track? We can move.
There's a track back there.
Okay.
But the mic's okay.
Yeah.
So after you sold the company, was that retirement then, and then full time taking care of Brad and growing the museum collection?
That's what my wife thought. She goes, "Oh, he's retired. Now he works for me." Wrong. No way. No. So what happened is it really a couple things. Obviously, now I had money because building the company all along. I mean, it's just a monster. You got to keep feeding the capital into it. And beside, my brother had decided to leave a few years before, so I was buying the company off of him. So there really was never I never had money, and all of a sudden now I've got this pot of gold. So I decided, really to kind of go to work and trying to put together a world-class museum that told the story about, motocross in America. So did that, and then, but the flip side, started spending a lot of time on, just getting involved with the races. Got real involved with Glen Helen. Started going out on Saturdays and announcing the races, and got a little involved with that. And I think as you get older, and you're really in this motorcycle business, you want to find a way to stay relative. So I guess I looked at ways to kind of stay relative. And that was by, volunteering. I go, hey, I'm not very good, but I work for free. And I was getting a lot of cool jobs doing that. So, yeah.
It's a good way to stay in contact with all the close friends you've made.
That's right, yeah. That, yeah, give them stuff. Work for them for free.
Okay. One of the things I left your museum with the other day was just like, towards the end of the day, we were talking about ourselves and our lives, and I got kind of teary-eyed and everything. It's like, it's amazing what peace you have with what's going on right now. And I think I told you, I was like, man, after when I was speaking to you, I was like, I've done more than I ever thought I would ever do. And like, the only thing I was just telling him, look, the only thing I've looked forward to is my grandkids, But like, I'm at peace now. If something happened and I went,
Yeah.
I've had more fun than 10 people. So I'm okay with it, And it's like, it's such a, I don't want to say an inspiration, but just, it's really amazing to see how strong you are right now.
Well, thank you, and I remember that conversation very well. It was a great conversation, and I want to think that maybe for you and I, Don, maybe it came a little bit from what happened with your brother Ross, and how well he dealt with his paralysis. For me, I saw my son at 18 years of age basically lose what most people would say everything: blind, quadriplegia, G-tube, and all, except for his mind works. And I see that how he still has joy every day. And I looked at my life, and I looked at I've had so much enjoyment and met so many good people. and have so many loves in my life that I'm just grateful. And plus I'm also comfortable that I'm a strong believer. I know I'm going to go visit my Lord and Savior, so I'm good that way. But I'm not done. My motto is I'm going to live and plan for tomorrow, yet I'm going to live every day like it's my last. And that's what I'm doing. I'm out here today. I just got to ride Zach Osborne's 250 National Championship bike. How cool is that? And thank you for that. It was an amazing experience. And yeah. Wow, what a gift. Thank you for letting me do that.
What are you most proud of? Like in things you've accomplished? You've done so much. You have to pick one thing.
Well, I'm pretty proud that I was inducted in the AMA Hall of Fame under Ambassadors in Industry. That's a pretty neat acknowledgement to get, and I'm pretty excited about that. I'm also pretty excited this year to see Don Emler get inducted because he's overdue, and so I'm excited. So on a personal note, as far as getting accolades, that's pretty cool. But I got to tell you that the love and outreach I've got from so many people since I had this diagnosis of cancer, it's been mind-boggling. And I've told people, and it's almost true, it's almost worth getting cancer to have that many people really tell you how much they care about you and all the cool things that happen. Heck, they did this tribute out in Glen Helen for me, and I thought I was there to be the master of ceremonies at Malcolm Smith on any Sunday movie night the Thursday before the National, and they surprised me. They did this video all about me, and they built a monument. And I told my daughter Kristen, I go on the way home after that thing, I go, Kristen, this was the coolest ever. This was like going to my own funeral, but I'm happy, everybody's happy, and I get to see this really cool gravestone. Which, anyway, but it's cool.
So
but I'm not.
You don't want to be buried at Glen Helen, do you?
Oh, no. I don't want to be buried at all. No, a little dust. Matter of fact, we'll put a little of the ashes out here at Milestone today. Yeah. No. But again, I'm just enjoying every day, and I'm buying more motorcycles. I told you I just bought that one Sunday. I hope I'm done. Because seriously, I have 15 inside the house, and that's getting pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I'm out of room. So.
Do you have any regrets?
Well, yeah. I got a couple of major regrets, but they're not. That's stuff I can fix. I really regret what happened to my son Brad. That broke my heart. I really regret that. I regret that in a little bit that I didn't stay around long enough in my professional flat track career to have that one podium, because I was close. And one of the last nationals I rode, I was in 4th place on the 23rd lap. I had that opportunity to be on the podium, so I regret that. And to a certain extent, I have some regrets though about the relationship with my twin brother falling apart. But I have no control of that, so I'm okay with all of it.
Changing subjects. What does it feel like on the last lap of a mile race to pull out of the draft and go by guys?
Are we talking about coming out of 4, or are we talking about coming out of 2?
Out of 4.
Because if you're coming out of 4 and all that, I have I've won heat races. I actually I was and at a mile had the pole position for the final, but and finished 3rd. And this was a regional mile and all. But I've never had that experience on that final lap to lead a mile national. And no, but I got to tell you, you would think racing where you have straightaway speeds of 130 miles an hour, things would be happening really fast. It is so slow motion, you can't believe it. And even the bikes that we rode back then, not nearly as trick as Meese's bike, Indian, that he just got. I have a matter of fact, I have one. Jared Meese, congratulations, Grand National Champion in American Flat Track. But it's unbelievable how slow things happen, and you have more time to think about it. And those riders, I mean, they've got nerves of steel, and you have to have a lot of mental discipline because it's putting yourself in the position to have a win. And there's absolutely nothing like mild dirt track racing. As cool as I love motocross and I love supercross, there ain't nothing like a mild dirt track.
Speaking about being proud of stuff, you got to be proud of your daughter Kristen and the company she's built. I mean, because W's fantastic. I mean, it's the logo's on every top bike, and it's a key resource to go to for wheels.
Yeah.
So, what role did you play in that?
I've got 3 children, and obviously Brad, my oldest son, he never had the opportunity to develop into the man, the adult that he could have been. And I have my youngest son, Michael, who's 31, and he works for Felt Bicycles. He's a marketing manager there. I'm very, very proud of him. But Kristen, the girl, my oldest daughter, she's so much like me, it's scary. But she's smarter than I am. And I am so proud of her because she is a wonderful mom. And she's grown this business. As you said, it's a fabulous, fabulous business, and they have focused on just doing one thing right, and that's doing the wheels, the drivetrain for a motorcycle. Whereas we, Dan and I, we got into every niche of it. So she's got a business that affords her a good living. Yes, I might have helped her with some seed capital in the beginning, but yet she's got the time to be a great mom, take care of her kids, and since this diagnosis for me, she's been there for me. And I so appreciate that because I really need that support, and my wife is a little bit challenged due to some head injury problems she's had herself. So Kristen, I guess I'm most proud of you as a mom, second most proud of you as caretaker for me, and third most proud of you as a woman that's grown a great business, W. And I appreciate, by the way, the TransWorld Motocross. That's why they run a lot of ads. They get a lot of support from you guys, and we appreciate that.
So, what was the thought process and the train of thought when you found out that you're sick?
Yeah, it's a road. I mean, I basically, I had no symptoms. And I went on a ski trip in the early February and with a friend, and I was just kind of sick to my stomach, like I had food poisoning, but no intestinal problems at all. So I went back and I had a full physical, and the doctor tried to chase it down, thinking it was some minor problem in my stomach, and ultimately they sent me for an endoscopy where they take a camera into your stomach, and found out there was nothing wrong with my stomach. So they scheduled me for a CT scan with barium. And I had the test on a Tuesday. It was April 5th. It was 3 days before my 68th birthday. And then I was supposed to go in the doctor's office on Thursday. And I got a call from the guy, and it was actually the nurse practitioner at the gastroenterologist. And he didn't sugarcoat it. He just laid it on the line. He goes, "Tom, you've got cancer in your intestines. It's spread to your lymph nodes. It's in your liver. It's in your kidneys. It's everywhere. In your lungs." And it's like, without saying you're going to die, it's like, I got the message. And I was in total shock. So when you get a message like that, the first thing, obviously is, okay, well, do you want me to come into the office tomorrow? He goes, "No, we're going to send you to an oncologist, which is a cancer doctor." And it just so happens my cousin is 79, but still is an oncologist. So I called him and I go, here's stuff. Can I have the report sent to you? And he did. So go to the oncologist. He goes, "Well, they can't really tell you have cancer until we do these tests." So we chased the test down. In the meantime, I had just bought my brand new 17.5 KTM factory edition. And so I had that. I've got, every street bike known to man. I've got this collection. I guess the first thing I thought about, well, man, I've got all this stuff. What about the family? What are they going to do? So I was thinking like, wow, I'm going to sell the collection, and you know, I need to, you know, really talk to my wife about downsizing, getting into a smaller property, because we live on 4 acres. We have like, you know, what, 1, 2, 3. I can't even remember the buildings. I think we have 3 buildings on the property, but there's a lot of square footage. And then, interestingly enough, I had actually made a plan to sell my most valuable, my Husky Twin, to a friend of mine, and come to find out that my daughter wanted to keep the museum and the collection. And so it was a pretty challenging call for me when I called the guy and I said, hey, sorry, but I'm not going to sell the bike for all that money. And all, but it's like it totally turned me around. I got, wait, you know, they said you got cancer and it's probably going to kill you, but they didn't say when. So I go, well, let's fight the good fight, and let's keep having fun with it. But it takes a while. I can honestly say I've never shed a tear for myself, because I've been pretty comfortable all along with, you know, the life I've led and all that stuff. I remain concerned and very worried for my wife. But so many people have reached out for her and take care of her. So that's the main thing. But in the meantime, like I say, I'm living every day.
Cool. Anything else?
That's a wrap.
You made a big impact on me.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for doing this.